This shit is overwhelming me.
Me too.
Think VR peaked already? Think again. We've rounded up 12 absolutely perfect 10 out of 10 new VR games that prove the headset life is very far from over. There's something here that'll blow your virtual socks off. They're the kind that make you forget real life exists. Let's dive into the best of the best. The Midnight Walk. This is where the arts and crafts meet apocalypse, and you're the walking fire hazard they warned you about. Developed by Moonhood and published by Fast Travel Games, this first-person adventure dropped in May for PS5 and Windows, with VR support for those brave enough to face shadow monsters in full 360-degree panic mode. You play as the Burnt One, a crispy mystery with a tragic past and zero chill, on a mission to escort your glowing little buddy, Potboy, yes, he's an actual candle, to the top of Moon Mountain. The world? Drenched in darkness. The stakes? Flaming high. No swords, no guns, just you, some matches, and Potboy's precious flame, trying not to get snuffed out by the darkness. Light candles to keep monsters at bay, shoot matchsticks like you're playing fiery darts, and close your eyes, literally, to solve puzzles with sound cues and spooky Sixth Sense vibe.
Venture back to change the course of history. The lines between the past, present, and future are an illusion.
Wanderer Fragments of Fate. Reality's about to get a whole lot more unstuck. 1 second you're rocking out at a 60s music festival, and the next you're dodging spears in a lost civilization. Or maybe solving puzzles in the middle of World War espionage. Whatever time period you land in, the only guarantee is chaos, clues, and a healthy dose of historical awkwardness. The revamped journey isn't just a pretty coat of next-gen VR polish. It's a full-blown, body-hopping roller coaster through time where you literally step into the boots, and occasionally sandals, of people from the past. And yes, there's a talking wristwatch named Samuel, who's basically your sarcastic time travel Siri, now upgraded with a fancy new UI and a magical item finder gadget called the Echo device. But it's not just puzzles and plot twists though, because this one cranks the action dial way up. You'll be ziplining across temples, swimming through ruins, parkouring off ledges, and ducking bullets in dynamic, physics-driven worlds. With eye tracking, haptics, and fully embodied avatars, it's like a history class got injected with steroids, Red Bull, and a whole lot of what if. Assetto Corsa EVO. Developed by the precision-obsessed Italians at Cunos Simulazioni, Assetto Corsa EVO screeched into Steam Early Access this January 2025, and it's already burning virtual rubber. The third game in the legendary sim racing series, EVO is here to humble you. At launch, it dropped 5 iconic tracks. Yes, Mount Panorama and Suzuka are in. 20 meticulously recreated cars and 7 game modes, including Practice, Hot Stint, and the oddly charming Driving Academy, where you earn licenses, unlock faster cars, and try not to embarrass yourself in front of your virtual instructor. Want to relax? Go play Mario Kart. EVO is for the serious speed freaks who think tire pressure is a love language. Whether you're fine-tuning lap times or test driving that dream GT3, every corner is a lesson in physics, and every gear shift is a commitment. Arken Age. Set in the wild, terraformed world of the Biochasm, this action-adventure drops you into the boots of a full-body alien weapon with zero chill and a whole lot of Arcanite-fueled firepower. Your gear's just as wild, Build and paint your own weapons, then mod them with over 30 unlockables hidden throughout the chasm. With climbing picks for scaling ridiculous heights, free-form swimming, and the ability to craft syringes out of alien juice, scarlet nectar anyone, nothing is off limits. You'll explore ancient mysteries, befriend weird life forms, and throw down in epic boss battles that demand every trick in your arsenal. The 10-15 hour campaign dives deep into the lore of the Nara alien race, with extra modes for the combat junkies who can't get enough.
Hearing things, I feel like I'm losing my mind. What is happening? Sometimes we need to become the thing we fear.
Metro Awakening. This time, you're Serdar, the doctor whose greatest weapons are hope, a homemade revolver, and the rapidly draining batteries in your flashlight. Set in the radioactive guts of the Moscow Metro in 2028, you're crawling through humanity's last shadowy hideaway, not to save the world, but to find your wife and a vital dose of medicine. Oh, and also to wrestle with ghosts, hallucinations, and whatever spiritual awakening looks like when the walls are bleeding. Casual. This is Metro turned up to 11 in full VR. You'll fumble with gas masks, feel your heartbeat in the controller, and go from hesitant healer to full-on hardened survivor. It's the kind of game where every corner might have a mutant, a ghost, or your own fragile mind crumbling into radioactive soup. And yes, stealth matters, because you're still just a guy with a stethoscope, not a one-man army. But as Serdar's sanity cracks, something else awakens, something terrifying, possibly supernatural, and definitely not covered by medical school. Batman Arkham Shadow. Vengeance is when fireworks are booming, and Gotham is about to be ground zero for a chaos-fueled revolution led by a maniac called the Rat King. This prequel tale drops you into the cowl of a younger, rougher Batman, who's still figuring out whether he wants to punch problems or inspire change. And yeah, his method is a little extra. What starts with sewer rescues and sniper chases spirals into a wild masquerade as Matches Malone, where you'll buddy up with inmates, sit through psychological evaluations with Crane and Quinzel, awkward, and slowly unmask a plot that would make even Joker say, yikes. Gameplay's all first person and dangerously immersive. You'll swing, grapple, glide, and batarang your way across confined but cleverly connected environments. Combat, that signature Arkham ballet of fists, counters, and capes is back, except now it's in your actual hands. Stealth sequences feel intense thanks to full-body VR movement, and when you're peeking out of a grate while plotting an inverted takedown, you'll feel like a bat ninja on vacation from sanity. Detective vision is your super spy sixth sense, and a beefed-up arsenal rounds it all out. Every moment is deeply cinematic. And don't worry, the cape physics are chef's kiss. Metal Hellsinger VR. There's no tiptoeing through this underworld. You're headbanging through it with a shotgun in one hand and rhythm in your bloodstream. As the unknown, a half-demon with a full-on vendetta, you're basically performing a bloody ballet of destruction to the pounding beat of a metal god chorus. Each kill, dash, and reload feeds the music, syncing your rage with the infernal score until hell itself starts moshing around you. If you miss a beat, the soundtrack mutes its love for you, and you're left looking like a clumsy devil in a dance-off. Now all of that glorious fury is injected straight into your soul in VR. You'll feel the music in your bones, with every pull of the trigger turning into a bass drop, and every demon you send flying, amplifying the track like a live metal concert inside your headset. There's no HUD to distract you, just pulsing visuals, chaos on rhythm, and a soundscape forged by the gods of growl like Serge Tankian and Randy Blythe. Vendetta Forever. Forget cover systems and careful peeks. This one's all about diving headfirst into bullet symphonies like you're auditioning for a John Woo fever dream. You're dropped into dozens of short but savage action set pieces, each one practically screaming, directed by Tarantino's caffeinated clone. The rules are simple. Kill to move, move to survive, and never, ever stand still unless you want to become bullet confetti. Each takedown becomes a launch pad. Literally, you'll grab enemy weapons mid-air, backflip into another kill, and somersault across bars or sky-high crime scenes while a synth-heavy soundtrack cheers you on. There's no reload button, only momentum, adrenaline, and sheer cinematic disrespect for physics. The combat's a stylish puzzle. When your next move is tied to your last kill, every shot counts, and every pencil can be lethal. That's right, you can be that guy from that movie.
Yeah, there's definitely something down here. Adam?
Ghost Town. Things were finally looking up. Well, as up as life can get when you run a ghost hunting business out of a haunted apartment. But when Edith's brother disappears, and a cryptic psychic clue points her toward a fog-drenched Scottish island, your vacation plans turn into full-blown paranormal detective work. What follows is an eerie, elegantly crafted mystery where the dead don't just talk, they demand explanations, and sometimes they're ruder than your landlord. Ghosts don't knock politely in this game. They scratch, whisper, and mess with your flashlight battery. In this spectral adventure, you'll wield your VR controllers like mystical tools of the trade. One hand holds your ever-trusty torch, the other works through satisfying physical puzzles, locks, mechanisms, and yes, some very shady spiritual ritual. You're not just unlocking doors, you're casting spells, interacting with ghostly remnants, and figuring out why that one drawer won't open. Spoiler, it's cursed. Each environment oozes detail, with dense, haunting locations that feel like they've been ripped straight from Gothic storybook, except now you're living them.
The bell. Something draws the dead to it. Something evil.
Zombie Army VR. Just when you thought blowing zombie Hitler's rotting face off was the grand finale, the undead decide they're not done with Europe or your ammo. Now you're suiting up as a dead hunter, which sounds metal because it is. From abandoned bunkers to cursed cathedrals, you'll be neck-deep in a war zone where the enemies groan, explode, and sometimes snipe back. Yes, there are zombie snipers, because why not? In VR, you're gripping rifles with both hands, lining up glorious slow-mo X-ray shots that shatter femurs and morale. Reloading isn't just a button tap. It's a panic-inducing survival skill when a bloated ghoul is charging and your bullets are playing hard to get. Want to dual-wield pistols while walking backward into a graveyard trap? You absolutely can, and probably should.
George, where are you?
Promise me you won't get mad.
Do you know what can happen to you for being out there? Why did you go?
Mike is like a brother to me, you understand?
Ovrdark, a do-not-open story. There's no polite knock on the door here, just a full-force dive into VR horror hell, where even your ex-buddy wants to kill you, and the mansion seems personally offended by your presence. You step into the very jittery shoes of George Foster, who apparently didn't read the part where "do not open" was not a suggestion. Now you're stuck in Burkittsville's creepiest Airbnb, trying to solve puzzles while your former partner, Mike Goreng, has taken a hard left into full-on supernatural psychoterror. Yes, the guy who used to help you solve mysteries is now your main source of bowel loosening. In this first-person fright fest, you'll use your hands to open doors, interact with cursed objects, and solve puzzles that feel like they were designed by a demonic escape room manager. The VR immersion is so deep, you'll start checking your actual closet after each session. Shadows move when they shouldn't. Audio stings hit when you blink. And just when you think you've caught your breath, bam! Mike's smiling at you like a haunted ex on Valentine's Day.
We've got company.
Alien rogue incursion. Space was never going to be chill, but now it's actively out to eviscerate you in the darkest corridors imaginable. You're Zula Hendricks, ex-colonial marine turned interstellar whistleblower, and unfortunately for your blood pressure, you're storming a black site facility on a planet called Perdan, a name that sounds like it should host yoga retreats, but instead offers face-huggers and corporate cover-ups. With your trusty synth sidekick Davis doing his best not to get impaled, you're diving into one of the most high-stakes, pulse-pounding VR missions ever set in the Alien universe. With full VR control, you'll sneak through flickering hallways, crawl through air vents that scream "bad idea," and pray your motion tracker is lying when it starts beeping like it's having a heart attack. Stealth is essential, because these xenomorphs aren't just hunting you, they're outsmarting you. And when things go loud, your arsenal delivers that heavy colonial marine punch, letting you turn panic into vengeance for about 30 seconds. And that's 12 VR masterpieces that don't just raise the bar, they dual-wield it while backflipping through exploding zombie heads and haunted mansion. So strap on that headset, charge those controllers, and clear your calendar, because once you dive into these worlds, reality's going to feel disappointingly low-res. If you enjoyed this list, smash that like button, slap subscribe like it owes you rent, and drop your own VR favorites in the comments below. Stay immersive, legends.